This channel is for adults and not for kids. Hey guys, thanks for stopping back by. Today is a video that I was looking forward to making. It is all about the monsters and creatures from G.I. Joe. So, as a little kid from the 1970s, my introduction to G.I. Joe was the Adventure Team. And they were still 12 inches tall, and it was veering away from more of a military type figure into an action adventure type figure, you know, hence the name, the Adventure Team. I think that Vietnam had put a bad taste in the mouth of the public as far as like the military, and so they were steering it more towards like a Indiana Jones type of, you know, man of action sort of thing. Anyway, I loved the Adventure Team when I was a little kid. And this is one of the monsters. Is basically a big ugly caveman with chrome silver eyes, called the Intruder. This is my original from when I was a little boy, and they have this button on the back that you push, and this is his action feature where you push the button. Ooga ooga. That's so damn cool. There were two intruders. There was this one with the beard and the gold vest, and then there was one that had a silver vest and no beard. But the funny thing was is that, you know, G.I. Joes are like 12 inches tall, and this little dude is like 7 or 8 inches. So they were smaller than the G.I. Joes, but they were supposed to be like these formidable enemies of G.I. Joe. Whatever. I ate that shit up when I was a kid. I loved it. Okay, next up, this guy's super cool. This came from, I want to say, the early 2000s, and I believe it was called Planet Xenome, spelled with an X, Xenome. I want to say that was the name. This beautiful bluish green that this monster comes in. So the G.I. Joes, this came in a 2-pack. You got a G.I. Joe dressed in an astronaut outfit, and then you would get one of 3 aliens. And this was the best looking alien in my opinion. And these things go for crazy freaking money nowadays. Like crazy money. Anyway, he's got these cool little, you know, he kind of looks like the Metaluna mutant, the hands. He's got the pincer hands that open and close. He's got these big cool feet that help him stay planted. And it's a cool figure. But there were 3 aliens you could choose from. One of them had like a big brain and kind of looked like an ant. So there was this greenish blue one, there was an orange one, and a red one. And this one was my favorite. This is the only one that I picked up. But he's very cool. I like him a lot. I put him in photos of with lots of figures and in all kinds of different brands, because, you know, he just looks like this awesome generic monster that you could slip into any science fiction type line of toys and take cool photos with. But he's about 11 inches tall, I would say. He's very neat. I like him a lot. Very cool monster. I'm always on the lookout for another one. Yeah, if you guys have another one of him and you want to trade it or sell it for not too much, you know, not some astronomical price, let me know. I'm always in the market for another cool monster. Okay, next up, like I said, that was like from the early 2000s, and the intruder was from the 70s. Another one from the 70s, and this is my original from when I was a little kid. This is the Yeti. And he has seen better days. He's yellowing. I guess I could do that trick where you soak him in hydrogen peroxide, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of freaked out that it might hurt it. But this is the same mold they used for their pygmy gorilla. The gorilla was just the exact same toy, but in black. And this is the Yeti, so they painted him white. But he's very cool, and he's sentimental to me because this was mine from when I was little. So the next Yeti that they made was these beautiful pieces. Oh, these are so cool. So these are fun. These are they're basically like stuffed toys, but with a bendable wire inside, so you can move the arms and legs. And they have a cool little faces. At some G.I. Joe convention, they repainted these, I believe, a dark brown, and it came in a box set, like The Hunt for Bigfoot. So they recolored them and sold him as Bigfoot, which, you know, it's pretty much the same damn animal. But so this was the kind you could find at the store. I think I bought these at Target, and it came with a G.I. Joe in a, you know, an Arctic outfit with a big furry snow hood, and you got a G.I. Joe, and then you would get a Yeti. So I bought 2 of those sets, and it's just such a cool monster. He's about 1 foot tall, big furry Yeti, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I've got 2 of him. Very neat. I mean, it's way more impressive than this little guy. But that little guy is sentimental. Okay, next up, let's see. Next up, so I'm a weirdo when it comes to G.I. Joe, because my favorite incarnation of G.I. Joe is the one that people like the least. So being a little kid in the 1970s, of course the oil shortage was happening, and action figures are created, you know, plastic is created from the same oil, you know, petroleum, you know, that they make gas from. So there was this huge shortage, and to cope with it, the toy companies, you know, Hasbro, they stopped making G.I. Joe in the 12-inch version, and they scaled him down to like a 6 or 7-inch version, and they rebranded it. Instead of, you know, G.I. Joe or the G.I. Joe Adventure Team, it was now Super Joe Adventure Team. And it had a science fiction kick, because this was 1978, so Star Wars had just flipped the world on its ass in 1977. Everybody wanted a science fiction thing. And this is my favorite G.I. Joe. I love it. It's got monsters, it's got robots, it's very superhero-ish. The only thing is, though, these figures are made like shit. You can still have them mint in the package, and they're just a pile of rubble in the package because the joints, the plastic they made the joints out of, would just get really brittle and deteriorate and fall apart. So to have one that's still intact is, you know, it's super rare. A Super Joe that's super rare is one that is still put together. I did used to have Super Joe, the leader. This is Terran. He is a giant, walking, six-legged dinosaur monster. And the Super Joes would have this little light-up feature, pew, where the light would shoot, and if it would hit this sensor, the monster would freeze up in his tracks. Very cool. And see, it comes with a little flashlight that this little kid is holding. The flashlight does the same thing. You know, you shoot it on that little spot and the monster freezes up. And the monster's mouth and his eyes, they glow red, and he walks. It's such a cool friggin' toy. I love these old boxes. Mine is kind of beat up. I mean, it's got this nasty hole in it, but, you know, what the fuck do you expect? It's like a 50-year-old toy. Cool illustrations. And you guys are saying, yeah, it's a neat box, John, but where's the monster? Well, so this is Terran, and I took the batteries out of him. I don't have batteries in him right now. I've got two of him, actually. But this one came with the box and still has the cool little flashlight. Command laser. That's so awesome. It's a frickin' flashlight. Such a cool 1970s monster. It's kind of like a Triceratops, but without the horns, you know. So every monster, you know, needs a leader. And that's who this bad boy is. This is Gore. This is the only Super Joe figure I still have. And he is this really cool lizard monster. Mine is a little worse for wear. I mean, you know, fuck it, I still own one. These are hard to come by, especially if you don't want to pay a small fortune for it. So originally, you would flip a switch and this is a little red light would show. Mine has one movable arm. This arm I had to glue in place because this thing was just a pile of rubble, and I had to put them back together. I am missing the little door that fits on top of the battery compartment. A lot of people, when they own these, that's the first thing that always goes missing, is that little battery compartment. So there was a gimmick where Super Joe, you know, you'd punch his head and it'd go, it would make this funny little spring sound when he got hit. But, you know, that part no longer works. But at least I still have him, and he's a cool lizard monster, and it is Gore, leader of the Terrans. And I'll put him next to his Terran. Yeah, so I have two of him, and I only have one of him. He's really expensive to try and track down in a decent piece, in decent shape for a decent price. Up next is a newer piece. I want to say this came out about the same time as those Planet Xenome toys. This is, you know, like Search for the Mummy, something like that. I got it for the mummy. So the mummy's permanently in his coffin, though. That part sucks. But it's a nice sculpt on the mummy. It's a nice looking mummy. And he comes with this, you know, there's a little cobra. You pull down on the little cobra lever, and it does this when you pull down on it. So he raises his arm. I would have much preferred just to have a removable mummy than to have one with a gimmick, but you know, whatever. And he came with this Lance Hardcock. He came with this Adventure Team G.I. Joe figure. Okay, there are two pieces that I own that I just can't find right now, guys. I was trying to get all my G.I. Joe shit together to show you, and I have a rubber squid from their submarine set, and I have the original mummy that comes in a green sarcophagus. I have him too. I just can't find the damn thing right now. I searched and I searched. It's in a box, but I just can't find it right now. You guys got to take my word for it. I do own the other mummy, the original mummy, and I do own that rubber squid. And if I ever do come across the damn things, I'll show them to you. And the last piece is an honorary G.I. Joe toy. So when I was a little kid, I kind of couldn't really differentiate between Big Jim and G.I. Joe. I kind of thought they were the same thing. Anyway, this is a cool, super cool gorilla from the Big Jim line. And he's got this neat wheel on his back. And you roll it, and he shrugs his arms at you. And this was a mold that they reused. I know there was a Tarzan line of toys that I believe used this same gorilla. That Tarzan line of toys had like a tiger, and that's the tiger that they used for He-Man's Battle Cat. They just, same pose, same everything, same tiger. They just plucked it out of that line and painted it green with orange stripes, and voila, you've got Battle Cat. But I'm not sure if this gorilla was used in a King Kong toy line. I have weird memories of it being used as King Kong, but that could have just been me playing with it as King Kong. But I could have sworn they used the same mold for King Kong. Maybe not, though. That's just another toy fever dream, probably. And he came with this neat little net and like this wooden thing, a net shooter that you would, fire it off with rubber bands, and it would land on the gorilla. So he's an honorary G.I. Joe toy, G.I. Joe creature in my book, because that's how I played with them. Okay, now if you guys are saying to yourself, come on, John, why couldn't you find that damn squid and that damn mummy? How hard can it be to find something? Well, my friends, this is what I was dealing with trying to make this damn video. I've got a Star Trek video that I'm gonna do. So I've got a bunch of Star Trek figures out. And yeah, this is what I'm dealing with right now. Hey, there's that Eskimo G.I. Joe, the one that came with the Yetis. And there's an expensive Sideshow Storm Shadow, and there's like 45 to 50 G.I. Joe classified figures, and there's an Ed 209, and there's a there's a Clash of the Titans Kraken, because I had to go digging through this, you know, one of my bins. There's a bunch of G.I. Joe and Lord of the Rings stuff all on the bottom. But yeah, it's not easy when you own this many creatures, when you own this many toys, to just, oh shit, there's that Mighty Max that I have to do a video about too. That Mighty Max is cool. He's like he kind of looks like a Micronaut on steroids, because he's got the chrome head. But yeah, I'm gonna do a Star Trek video in a few minutes as soon as I clean up my G.I. Joe creatures. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at my my mess. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the creatures and monsters associated with G.I. Joe. Being a monster kid, that was always my favorite part of G.I. Joe, was the side animals, the monsters, the creatures, the rubber snakes, the vultures, the squids, the yetis, the assorted creatures. I don't know. They just don't make toys. They don't make toys like this anymore. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at some of my insanity. And I'll be coming back at you really soon with Star Trek toys. These Star Trek figures that I own and love. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.